Good morning, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to day 22 of albums that are 50 years old in 2021. Of course, we're looking at the great year that was 1971. So 28 days of February, not that many left. 28 favorite albums of mine, as well as yours, from the list of releases from 1971. We're also doing an honorable mention each day, which makes the grand total 56 albums from 1971 we're talking about here. So let's get into my pick from today. This is a great one. Again, a lot of you have mentioned this one already. I knew I was going to get to it eventually because I am a big fan here. Released April 23rd, 1971. Recorded at Muscle Shoals, Olympic and Trident Studios, as well as Stargrove Studios. They went to all sorts of different places to record this album. Produced by Jimmy Miller. Released on, of course, Rolling Stones records. We're talking about Sticky Fingers, everybody, from the Rolling Stones. Arguably, the strongest album of their career, right? They got a lot of them. This is easily my favorite. I know some people may pick a couple other different ones here, but this one gets it for me. Of course, this is the famous cover with the zipper, right? A lot of classics on this. A lot of classics. This is not only my favorite album, it's my favorite lineup of the band. Of course, here you got Keith Richards, Mick Jagger, as always. You got Bill Wyman on bass, Charlie Watts on drums, but of course you got at the time, somewhat still of a new guy in Mick Taylor on electric lead guitar. Man, what a impact he had on these couple of albums, right? A couple of different guests here on saxophone and piano and all that sort of stuff, but for the main crutch of everything, all right, that's the core of the band. A lot of great songs. Brown Sugar, Wild Horses, two long-time endearing songs from the band. Can't You Hear Me Knocking? Of course, I haven't forgotten Sway. Sway is an all-time favorite song of mine from the Stones. Very underrated, good hard rock track with nice vocal from Mick. Then you Gotta Move. You got the incredible hard rockin' Bitch. You've got I Got Blues. Sister Morphine, another great song. The endearing kind of country rock of Dead Flowers. Dead Flowers is so catchy, so magical, so much fun. And then, of course, the atmospheric closer, Moon Night Mile. Killer album. Easily one of those Desert Island Disc albums. If you're going to take any Rolling Stones album to the desert island, right? You can only have a handful of albums by certain bands. I'm taking this one, without a doubt. Never gets old. A lot of fun. That's my pick for today. So, my honorable mention, another really cool album from 1971, released in November of that year. Recorded at American Recording Studios in Studio City, California, for the Dunhill label, produced by Richard Podolor. For ladies only. Steppenwolf. But of course, another really strong album from this band. It's their sixth album. Hard to believe, 1971's sixth album. It just goes to show you, how early in this whole period of rock and roll, psychedelic rock, hard rock, whatever you want to call it, that this band got started out with their first album. They were pretty prolific for a few years, though. But this is a really cool album that sees the band moving into a little bit more adventurous songwriting and, song structures and things like that. Got the title track, Ladies Only. For ladies only, I should say. Really cool song. I like it quite a bit. Approaching 10 minutes long, right? You got I'm Asking, Shackles and Chains, other really good fun song. Tenderness, The Night Times for You, good up-tempo rocker. Jaded Strumpet, Sparkle Eyes, Black Pit, Ride With Me, and In Hopes of a Garden. I find this to be a very, when I look at the catalog of Steppenwolf, you have a couple albums that kind of stand out as arguably their greatest achievement. Monster's one of them. The first album's got some really good stuff on it. But I tend to go back to this one quite a bit. And I like the fact that they decided to, there's some people that call this their prog rock album. I don't know if I'd go that far, but there are some little more challenging musical passages on this album. Good, gritty guitar work. John Kay's vocals is always pretty stellar. So this is a really fun, hard rocking album from this American-Canadian institution known as Steppenwolf. So that is my honorable mention for today. But of course, the main one, this one here, Sticky Fingers for Ladies Only. 2 gems from 1971. You know the drill, everybody. In the comments below, please list your favorite of the day from 1971 as well as an honorable mention. Right, we've got just a few more days. We've got the rest of this week, and that's it for this 50th anniversary celebration of albums from 1971. And I know a bunch of you have asked, Pete, we love this series. Are you going to continue on with this next year? Yeah, absolutely. Basically, the idea is that each January of each new year, as long as we're doing this thing here, right? Each January, we're going to go and revisit the year that is 50 years old and the albums that are 50 years old. So next year in 2022, we're going to, of course, be looking at 1972. And we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it in January. So we have a couple extra days to play with, which is good. And that's a kind of a nice way to start off the new year. So once we're done with this month, here in February, next January, we'll be doing it all over again, except we're going to move on to 1972. So stay tuned for next month, right? The whole month of March, we're going to be doing Dream set lists. Basically, each day I'm going to throw a different band out at you. And I'm going to say, come up with your dream set list from that band, maybe from a specific era or lineup of the band, whatever it might be. But basically, if you were to put together a 90-minute set, if you want to do more, that's cool too. A solid 90-minute set of some of your dream songs from that band, from your dream lineup of that band. If it's a band that's got many lineups, that's what it's going to be. I might also occasionally bring some guests in to join me on some of these. It's going to be kind of difficult because this is going to be like an everyday show. So, normally I do these very early in the morning, but if I can pre-record some of them with some special guests, other folks who appear on the channel quite a bit, we're going to do that. I've already talked to a couple of them. So that's coming up in a little over a week. All right. Actually, a week from today. A week from today. So stay tuned for that. We've got, what do we got coming up on the channel? Tonight, the Hudson Valley Squares are live. We're going to be talking about our favorite albums released in 1982. That's coming up tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live here on YouTube. Butch Jones is also joining me tonight. Butch and I will be doing part 3, episode 3 of Perfect Albums. So Butch and I will each be giving you 5 albums that we feel are perfect, start to bottom, or start to finish, top to bottom. It's early, folks. So that's happening also tonight, I should say. So Butch is joining me for that episode. And then part 4 of Perfect Albums, Guitar Hack is coming back on the show. Guitar Hack is joining me next week for the 4th edition of Perfect Albums. So that'll be coming up. All sorts of stuff happening this week. We've got Martin Popoff and I doing a live show on, I believe it's Wednesday night. All right, I know I do this quite often, but let me look at the calendar because that's the only way I can keep track of things anymore. All right, let's see. So here's what's happening this week. So tomorrow, the debut of In the Prog Seat. Okay, that is happening tomorrow evening, so look for that. That's a panel show talking all about prog, probably bi-weekly, maybe weekly. We'll see how it goes. I've got 3 really cool guests. Okay, got George LeMay, Charles Alvarez, and Anthony Farrar joining me for a topic all about our favorite concept albums from prog and prog metal concept albums, our 5 favorites. So that's coming up tomorrow night. Wednesday night is the live show with Martin Popoff, okay, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And that is going to be all about our favorite solo albums from notable bands, from notable members of notable bands released while they were still in the band. Okay, that's happening Wednesday night live. What else? We've also got Stephen Reed and myself are going to give you our top 20 must-hear UK prog albums. It's a primer list. Each one of us is going to give you our favorite 20. If you are just investigating UK prog rock, whether it's from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or 2000s, right, we're going to try and figure out what are the 20 each that you need to hear first. Okay, so that's coming up. Also on Wednesday, And then on Thursday, we've got another live show of the Monsters Den. This time it's at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so 1 hour early. So join Rich Catino, Chris Allo, and myself, along with special guest Jamie Laszlo. The whole hour is going to be dedicated to the Evil Dead series. All right, hour-long discussion of that. Then I've got a really cool taping for you, which you'll see a little bit later on in the evening on Thursday. It's all about favorite double albums in rock and roll history, and I have a really special guest who's joining me on that, so I'm not going to reveal it. You'll have to wait and see. So that's coming up this week here on the channel, along with finishing up the albums that are turning 50 years old in 2021, and all sorts of other stuff. So stay tuned for that and more here on the channel. Visit us on the web at www.seeitranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. See you all tonight. Have a good one. Bye-bye.